These guys came into volunteer work all at once, and in 1 year have worked on, completed, and have a couple in the works, 7 asylum cases between 4 people, with ongoing work during 2011.
I'd like to talk about one asylum case that sticks out in my mind. It's the case of a woman from India who suffered years of domestic violence in her home country. Jones Day took on the case that was referred from the Lawyers Committee, and we worked to help this woman file an application for asylum, and she's since been able to seek safety in the United States. Her asylum claim was granted.
That was a really challenging situation, a case for us, because our client had a 1-year bar deadline, which is basically when she had to apply for asylum within the year that she had entered the United States. But we only heard about her and started meeting with her a month before that deadline was passed, and that's always a challenge to gain the trust of the client.
The asylum cases are also interesting because it does give you a view into a very different part of the world. I actually studied a lot about Central Asia in my undergraduate program, but it's so different to know, the capitals and the politics of these countries, and then to sit down with someone who's from there and who's lived there her entire life and hear what day-to-day living is like and what the challenges of day-to-day life are.
I'll tell you about my client. Her name is Juanita. She's from Guatemala and grew up there, and at a very early age, she was raped by her cousins that were like her next door neighbors. So just sort of a really tough story. And by the time she turned 18, it had been happening for years, and she decided that she had to run away. We made an argument that, because she had all these symptoms of post-traumatic stress disorder, and because she had been through so much, it would just be impossible for her to apply within a year. And we made that argument to the asylum office in San Francisco in April of last year. And normally, it takes 2 weeks to get a decision, but we didn't hear anything for months and months because her case was complicated. And then finally, just a couple weeks ago, 2 days before Christmas, we found out that her application had been approved. So I got to call her and let her know, and it had just been, her birthday was 2 days before that. So it was this huge thing, and she said, what a gift this is on my birthday and Christmas, and I just can't imagine a better Christmas gift than this. And it's just very emotional because she, is now able to stay here, and she knows that she's sort of on the path to rebuilding her life, and she's not gonna have to worry anymore about getting sent back to Guatemala.
It's important for attorneys to get involved in these cases, and especially, I think we find it important here at Jones Day to get involved because we can help people to be able to tell their story in a way that's going to convince the asylum office to grant them asylum, or that's going to show the immigration court what they've been through. This is the challenge. It involves often getting experts involved, psychological reports, and working with the client extensively to be able to tell their story. So I think it's an obligation that we have as attorneys to try and help people seek safety, tell their stories, and get their stories out there.